Urban combat is a terrifying crucible. Buildings become fortresses, streets transform into kill zones, and every corner holds the potential for ambush. Unlike the open battlefield, urban warfare offers little room for maneuver, forcing soldiers into close-quarters confrontations. The enemy can be anywhere and everywhere, lurking in the shadows, hidden behind rubble, or positioned in overlooking windows. Survival in this concrete jungle demands more than just firepower. It requires cunning, adaptability, and a deep understanding of tactical movement. The complexities of urban warfare necessitate a specialized approach to combat. Traditional military tactics often prove ineffective in the close confines of a city. Open flanking maneuvers become impossible, and air support is often limited by the risk of collateral damage. Soldiers must learn to fight in 3 dimensions, utilizing rooftops, sewers, and even the interiors of buildings to their advantage. This vertical dimension adds another layer of complexity to an already chaotic environment. In this environment, the ability to move effectively under fire becomes paramount. A single misstep, a moment of hesitation, can mean the difference between life and death. Soldiers must be able to advance, retreat, and reposition themselves while constantly facing the threat of enemy fire. This requires a combination of discipline, precision, and unwavering courage. One tactic in particular has proven invaluable in these treacherous urban landscapes: bounding overwatch. This method of tactical movement offers a systematic approach to navigating the urban battlefield, providing soldiers with a crucial advantage in the fight for survival. It allows for controlled movement while maintaining a constant state of readiness, minimizing exposure to enemy fire, and maximizing the chances of a successful outcome. This dance between movement and cover is the essence of bounding overwatch. Bounding overwatch is a fundamental military tactic designed for survival in high-threat environments, particularly urban combat. It is a system of alternating movement and cover fire, where one element of a fire team moves while the other element provides suppressing fire. This dynamic interplay between movement and support creates a protective bubble, allowing the team to advance or retreat while minimizing their vulnerability. It is a delicate dance of coordination and trust, where the lives of each team member depend on the actions of the others. The principle behind bounding overwatch is simple yet profound. By ensuring that one part of the team is always providing cover, the other part can move relatively safely. This leapfrogging action allows the team to advance through hostile territory, clear buildings, or extract wounded comrades while maintaining a constant state of vigilance. The constant presence of covering fire disrupts the enemy's ability to aim and maneuver, creating opportunities for the moving element to gain ground or reposition. The effectiveness of bounding overwatch hinges on seamless communication and coordination between team members. Hand signals, verbal commands, and even subtle nods and glances become critical in the heat of battle. The moving element must trust that their covering fire is effective, while the covering element must maintain discipline and accuracy to protect their advancing comrades. This symbiotic relationship is the backbone of the tactic. Bounding overwatch is more than just a tactical maneuver, it's a testament to the power of teamwork and the unwavering bond between soldiers. It is a life-saving technique that allows small units to overcome seemingly insurmountable odds, navigating the treacherous urban battlefield with a measured and calculated approach. The synchronized movement and constant communication create a rhythm, a pulse of survival that beats in the heart of every soldier. The execution of bounding overwatch involves a carefully choreographed sequence of actions. Typically, a fire team will divide into 2 elements, the moving element and the covering element. The covering element establishes a position of overwatch, providing suppressive fire towards the enemy position. This fire is not necessarily aimed at hitting specific targets, but rather to create a zone of danger that discourages the enemy from maneuvering or returning fire effectively. The moving element, utilizing the cover provided by their comrades, then advances rapidly to a new position, typically a short distance away. This movement, often called the bound, must be swift and decisive, minimizing the time spent exposed to enemy fire. The distance of the bound is determined by the terrain, the level of enemy activity, and the overall tactical situation. The objective is to reach the next covered position as quickly and safely as possible. Once the moving element reaches their new position and establishes cover, they signal to the covering element. The roles then reverse, with the previously moving element now providing covering fire, and the previously covering element beginning their bound. This cyclical process continues until the fire team reaches its objective or needs to adjust its tactics based on the evolving situation. The entire process requires constant communication and mutual understanding between the two elements. The covering element must maintain accurate and effective fire to suppress the enemy, while the moving element must move swiftly and efficiently, minimizing their exposure, and quickly establishing a new overwatch position. This intricate interplay of movement and suppression is what makes bounding overwatch such an effective tactic in urban warfare. Section 4. Why bounding overwatch works. Disrupt, confuse, dominate. Bounding overwatch disrupts the enemy's ability to effectively engage the advancing troops. The constant shift in positions and the continuous stream of suppressive fire make it difficult for the enemy to acquire and maintain a target. This disruption creates windows of opportunity for the moving element to advance without being pinned down by enemy fire. It's a constant game of cat and mouse, where the bounding team dictates the pace and direction of the engagement. The alternating movement and cover also create confusion for the enemy. It becomes difficult for them to determine the strength and disposition of the advancing force. This confusion can lead to hesitation, miscommunication, and ultimately, a breakdown in their defensive posture. In the chaos of urban combat, even a momentary lapse in the enemy's focus can be exploited to gain a decisive advantage. The suppressive fire provided during bounding overwatch also has a powerful psychological effect on the enemy. The constant barrage of bullets, even if not directly hitting their positions, creates a sense of pressure and unease. This psychological impact can erode their morale and make them less likely to engage aggressively. It's a form of psychological warfare, chipping away at the enemy's will to fight. Bounding overwatch allows a small force to project a larger presence on the battlefield. The constant movement and overlapping fields of fire create the impression of a larger force, potentially deterring the enemy from launching a counterattack. This deception can be crucial in situations where friendly forces are outnumbered or outgunned. It's a way to make the enemy think twice before making a move. Section 5. Echoes of Mogadishu Bounding Overwatch in Action. The effectiveness of bounding overwatch has been proven time and again in real-world conflicts. One of the most notable examples is the 1993 Battle of Mogadishu, chronicled in the book and film Black Hawk Down. During this intense urban firefight, U.S. Army Rangers and Delta Force operators relied heavily on bounding overwatch to navigate the hostile streets of Mogadishu, Somalia. Despite being heavily outnumbered, they were able to maintain their cohesion and inflict significant casualties on the enemy. The narrow streets and dense urban environment of Mogadishu provided a challenging backdrop for the battle. Enemy fighters concealed in buildings and behind rubble subjected the American forces to near constant ambushes. Bounding overwatch proved crucial in allowing the soldiers to move through this treacherous landscape, providing cover fire and minimizing their exposure to enemy fire. It was a life-saving tactic in a desperate situation. The Battle of Mogadishu highlighted the importance of training and coordination in executing bounding overwatch effectively. Under intense pressure and facing overwhelming odds, the American soldiers relied on their training and teamwork to survive. The ability to communicate effectively, react quickly to changing situations, and maintain discipline under fire proved invaluable in the face of such adversity. The lessons learned in Mogadishu reinforced the value of bounding overwatch as a vital tactic in urban warfare. It demonstrated that, even in the most chaotic and dangerous environments, disciplined movement and coordinated fire can make the difference between victory and defeat, survival and loss. The battle serves as a grim reminder of the cost of conflict and the importance of effective tactical maneuvers.